Today's guests are Allison Evans and Kelly Love, two of the powerhouse women behind Branch Basics, the non-toxic cleaning brand that's completely redefined what clean really means. What started as a personal health journey turned into a mission to help people eliminate harmful toxins from their homes. And today, Branch Basics is one of the most trusted names in the wellness-forward cleaning space. Allison and Kelly take us back to the beginning, the health scares that sparked the idea.
I was diagnosed with the worst case of polycystic ovarian syndrome that the doctor had ever seen.
What it takes to build a physical product company with integrity, why clean isn't always what it seems, and how they've scaled a deeply personal mission into a growing business. This one is truly for anyone who's ever asked, do toxic chemicals really matter? And how do I make the steps to make positive change? I hope you love it as much as I do. Welcome to Hot Takes, Big Stakes, guys. We're so excited to have you. I've been a very long time user of your products. Very happy that you've come on board and you can tell our listeners about your incredible, incredible brand. If you could just get started on how you started, how you met, and what the brand is.
So it really started down the road. We actually had our first office on a little bungalow down West 6th because we're here in Austin today. We met in college at University of Texas, but the story really started, I would say, with my health journey, because the brand, we sell a non-toxic cleaning product, but we really are a company that puts education first. We're passionate about helping people understand the importance of identifying toxins and the things that we put in, on, and around our bodies so that we can remove them and replace them with safe alternatives. So I grew up standard American diet, Houston, Texas, soy formula, conventional milk, all the things. Mm-hmm. And my mom wore all the perfumes and synthetic fragrances around my home, the Clorox, you name it. And fast forward to 6th grade, I had my first period, and then I never had another one. So in high school, I went and did a sonogram of my ovaries at a fertility clinic in Houston, and they were covered in cysts, could not even see them, thousands of cysts. So I was diagnosed with the worst case of polycystic ovarian syndrome that the doctor had ever seen, and talked about even putting my picture in a medical textbook. And I was given birth control. I was told I would never be able to get pregnant naturally. I remember specifically asking, is there anything that I can do to reverse this or change this? And this was 2001, and we just didn't have the information back then. So there's no fault at all on their part, but they emphatically said, no, this is becoming more and more common. We don't know why, but don't worry. And here's birth control. So I just kind of owned it and went on about my life, got to college. That's where I met Kelly. And I started getting these mysterious symptoms that started with tightness, shoulder tightness and pain, but then quickly turned into chronic pain in my lower back. I was getting steroid injections and doing regular physical therapy. I was losing motor skills. I remember reaching for a carton of milk in our apartment and falling to the floor. So by the end of my sophomore year, I was on hydrocodone twice a day. I was on muscle relaxers and sleeping pills and antidepressants. And you would have never known. I looked fine.
Yeah, from the outside, she didn't look sick at all.
Yeah. And I was living off of, Splenda and 100-calorie packs so that I could stay thin. Just wasting away on the inside.
But we thought it was healthy back then.
Yeah, back then. That's this was Whole Foods across the street. Was opened at the time, but it was just not trending yet. We're so old. So my aunt comes along, who is our third founder, and she starts talking to us, or to me. But Kelly's really in this journey with me. When we were so close at the time, we were roommates all through college, and she's watching this whole thing kind of play out with me. And merrily talks to me about this idea of the body burden and how we all, drop by drop, microdoses are contributing to this toxic load that we kind of build up our entire lives. And some people can, they have good detoxification pathways and they can handle these things, but other people, it can show up in the form of eczema and allergies and, colic as a baby, and then migraines and fatigue, but all the way to, ovarian and endocrine related cancers and autoimmune disorders. And I had never heard any of this. I've been to all these different doctors, and she was the first person who started asking me questions that I felt like I had control over. Can you send me a 3-day diet diary? What kind of products are you using to clean your home? Do you use pesticides in your home? And I'm like, what does this have to do with my health? But also felt hopeful, maybe I actually have a part to play in my health. Like, imagine that, you know, because it was always about my genetics and my symptoms and how can we mask or cover these symptoms. You know, I ended up moving out to the hill country in Texas with Kelly.
Marilee, you know, had all this knowledge we were picking up in little bits and pieces throughout college. And I was a health promotion major. I was really interested in health and wellness, and, you know, the healthy one. But Allison and I were both like, let's ask Marilee if we can go live with her and like live this natural lifestyle and learn from her for the summer. Wow. And thankfully she said yes. And just a little backstory to, you know, give context to Marilee's, like the way she knows all of this information that she does, and the reason she has been able to help so many people is because her experience. She grew up sickly, always sick with different infections. Doctors could never figure out what was wrong with her. In 20s, she had exploratory surgery and told she needed a kidney transplant, and she would likely never be able to get pregnant. And she just, something in her that day, like, just said, I refuse to accept that. And what if, you know, next year y'all figure out, the medical community figures out something to help me. And so said no to the kidney transplant, was determined to find another way, and found out about food as medicine. Literally threw out everything in her pantry and refrigerator, went all in with only organic, medicinal, healing foods, and completely healed her kidneys and had a baby. I mean, just like complete transformation.
Like
all of her symptoms.
Like a 10-day
Yes, completely like reversed her kidney issues in like 10 days. So she obviously like became super passionate about food as medicine. She started cooking medicinally for people, whether it was cancer or kidneys or whatever, and knew all about the food. But then fast forward, her son was 10 years old and exposed to really high levels of a mixture of banned and legal pesticides and that were being used at his school. And he went from being a coordinated, athletic, brilliant little boy to hardly being able to walk a straight line, spell a 3-letter word, and lift up his head off the pillow. He was so sick, and his lymph nodes were so swollen, and he would have all these different symptoms. You know, some days he'd be like really sensitive to sound, and then other days he'd be like climbing off the walls, like super hyper. And she learned through his experience about the importance of environmental toxins and all these things that are in our home that we're exposed to every day, because his immune system and detoxification system and brain were so damaged that they were told that he would never recover. He'd live at home forever and basically create a safe room with nothing but an organic
like a
mattress.
Bubble boy,
yeah,
essentially. Yeah.
I mean, you see that now with AstroTurf as well at schools and at daycares, and it's having such big repercussion on kids as they're getting older.
Wild.
Right.
Yeah, there was like a big study done with like a bunch of girls who were in a soccer team. Did you see this? Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, it was
And like
I'm like, how are people not talking
a
about
huge
this more?
percentage of them came out with like lymphoma and different sorts of
Wow.
cancer.
Yes, related
Yeah,
to the
Yeah.
little-
all
yeah.
petroleum.
Wild.
Well, so Marilee, you know, basically was like, I feel like I've stripped our house down as much as we can. They were having to sleep outside because it was the only way that her son could get any relief. And anytime he was inside, he would have all these different reactions. So they're literally sleeping on a cot in the open air. Thankfully, they lived in Hunt, Texas, which is beautiful and like really good, clean air quality. And one night she's just like, what am I missing? Why can he still not be able to be in their house? We've stripped all this stuff down. And she thought of this box that she had kept all of her favorite perfumes and different products that she thought, I'll pull these back out when he's better. And she's like, I'm just going to remove this box and see what happens. And turns out the next day he was inside and he's like, Mom, what'd you do? Like, did anything change? Like, I'm not feeling like I need to, you know, get outside and get a fresh air. And it hit her the next day when she was at the grocery store. She was walking by the cleaning products aisle and realized all these products are sealed and closed, and yet we can smell them so strongly. And all these products around our houses are releasing these chemicals, you know, in parts per billion levels, but it's like a chemical soup that our bodies are constantly having to detoxify.
So for a child that's so immunocompromised, that was like the
so he was like the canary in the coal mine, you know,
Wow.
telling her like, hey, there's still stuff in here. So until she got that box out, she really didn't understand like how important all the products that we choose to bring in our home and put in, on, and around ourselves every day are. So it's like she had the food component, and now she really understood the depth of the environmental component. And after that day, it was like a huge pivotal turning point for her son's healing. He fully recovered. He became the first homeschooled person to be accepted to the U.S. Naval Academy. He flies planes and secret missions. He's brilliant and so strong. Married with 3 children, like living a full, healthy life. And so people started asking her for help, and she, by default, just word of mouth, started consulting. And that's how she
essentially watched her
Allison.
son, my first cousin, like reverse through the autism spectrum. I mean, something that people say could never happen, but she watched that happen. This was before the internet. I mean, this was in the 90s, and it took about 7 years for him to recover. But she said, gosh, if I had only known what I knew towards the end, like it would have been like at warp speed. Yeah. So that's the home that I'm entering this summer in 2008.
So it was our first time that we're like, we want to go stay in a place that's clean, eat clean food, like whole organic, real food, in a non-toxic environment, and just like learn from Marilee. So, and Allison, of course, wanted to get better because she was still having so much pain. She was like, I'm not going to be able to like sit and keep a job.
Anything. So we lived with her for that summer, and it changed everything. We ate real food for the first time in my whole life, and we did it consecutively for 8 weeks. I left that summer with no medication, needing no medication, no pain. And then my fiance at the time was like, we should go get another scan of your ovaries, because birth control was not on Marilee's summer protocol. So I ditched the birth control because it was all about removing synthetic, fragrances and synthetic estrogens and everything. And so when I went to go get my sonogram, the cysts were gone. I mean, I had like 2 on one ovary and 1 on the other. I mean, it was a total miracle healing. And the doctor comes in. He had been too busy to see me that day, so the nurse practitioner had done the scan. And then he comes in 6 years apart. He's like, what did you do? I said, well, I actually stopped taking birth control like 6 months ago, and I told him all about this new diet, and I'm getting rid of toxins. He was like, I've never, ever seen anything like this. So my period came back a couple years later. Marilee kept saying, the reproductive system is the last thing to come back on, to come online when you're healing, because it's for the next generation. You don't need it. It's not for our own health. Survival. And so it's like, kind of in survival mode. It had shut down, and we've tried 4 times and had 4 babies. It's been amazing. And especially because I had really identified, especially in high school, with a person that would never be able to happen. So
that's the craziest story.
Insane story.
Yeah, it's just the body. It's the idea that the body wants to heal and knows how to heal. And there's all these impediments and obstacles that we put up, and the things that we are bringing in to our bodies and inside of our homes. And I mean, they're saying up to 90% of all sickness and disease is lifestyle, not genetics. It's like lifestyle loads the gun, and our choices genetics loads the gun, and our choices pull the trigger.
It's like the book How Not to Die.
How Not to Die.
I love that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Meat or no meat?
Yeah, we eat
Were you
clean.
eating meat?
We do eat meat now. That summer we didn't.
Vegan.
But Marilee's always great about, like, there are different roads to China. Like, just because one diet worked for that person doesn't mean that everyone needs to be on that one diet. And so I was like the healthy one, like I said, and all of a sudden I'm realizing I have no more painful menstrual cramps, no more headaches, no more dry eyes, no more muscle aches that I was like getting regular massage therapy for. Like it
body
all
odor?
just disappeared. Yeah, no more body odor. I was like, you don't need deodorant. Like if you're eating clean and wearing natural fibers, I will say, no, that's true.
Hilarious.
That's true. If you can tell if you are off your diet, you can tell from.
So so then tell us the leap from there to Branch Basics.
Okay, so we're there that summer and both having this transformation. We're listening to Marilee consult as she, talks with her clients, works with her clients, and Allison and I are like, we need to get Marilee's brain on the internet. We need to share all of this information with our friends and family. Like, this is not just like, hippies living, in the off the grid. So we actually first started out with a blog and then a website that essentially was like how to create a healthy home and body. So we took all of Marilee's vetted products, like the best air purifier, water filter, organic mattress, sauna, like everything kind of in every category. And cleaning products was where we just kept telling people to start. Of course, everyone was like, all of our friends and family were like, we're so overwhelmed, where do we start? And cleaning products is an easy first step. It's not a huge investment. It's not a huge habit change. And cleaning products are some of the most toxic products we store and use in our homes. And like literally the EPA says when you're actually using conventional cleaning products, your air quality is up to 1,000 times more toxic than the indoor.
Just so ironic.
1,000 times more toxic than the outdoor air.
So we're bringing cleaning products in order to create a safe
Yes.
place for our family, yet we're actually just like decimating our microbiome because they are so unnecessarily toxic, and we don't need these disinfectants.
To fragrance allergens and you name it.
And asthmagens. It's just crazy.
So cleaning.
If people
was
are
like
listening and thinking, okay, I
want
want to check my cleaning products, like what would you recommend that they look for?
an ingredient list to start because a lot of them don't have an ingredient list. We're actually not
First red flag.
required.
Should we just throw it all out, basically?
If there's
It's
no
like-
ingredient list, you definitely need to throw it out.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, you would take it to a hazardous waste disposal. There's a website called Earth 911, and you can put in your zip code and find a safe place to dispose of them.
Which
but
again,
yeah,
isn't that ironic? That
It's
we
like,
can
I know.
use them in our homes.
What,
to
so you're
clean,
not meant
but
to just throw them into the trash?
You're supposed to throw them away. You need to go to Earth
hazardous.
911. I'm like,
Right.
wait, but didn't I was just told to put
just
this down my
flushing
toilet?
this down
That's
my
absurd.
sink. Yeah.
If there's no ingredient list, and then if there's any sort of EPA registered pesticide, so it'll have an EPA registration number, which means that it is a disinfectant and it has ingredients that are meant to kill, and it's killing the bad guys, but it's also killing the good guys. So we always tell people it is much more effective when you're wanting to tackle germs and viruses and bacteria to remove them with a mild soap or surfactant like Branch Basics. And even the FDA, or is it the EPA, during COVID
CDC.
said, yep, start that one over again. Even the CDC during COVID recommends that we use soap or a mild surfactant versus disinfecting because we're creating these superbugs. But a lot of people don't realize.
Hand sanitizer? They
Yeah.
use that in my kid's 4.5-year-old preschool.
Oh, yeah, no, you're wiping out all the good bacteria.
Can I
that's
tell
in
the-
the-
I never
Absolutely.
tell the teachers. Okay, but
Yeah.
we do
Yeah.
all, oh my god.
I think you guys actually have a page on your website, don't you? And where
do.
you're like,
Yes,
these are the things to look out for.
And we actually
Yes.
have ways
And
to
then-
talk to the school
Yeah.
about it.
You know, and fragrance is another big one. I mean, on the clean or the natural aisle of the store, you can, find many products that you think are clean, but fragrance
I
is
do
still in
have a
them, and
big
that's
problem with all of these like clean products that are fragrance heavy. It's like it is a bit of a oxymoron.
It is.
I have a very similar background to you guys where my mom is your aunt.
Oh, that's
So like
amazing.
I grew up that way anyway. Like
That is
she also like
amazing.
cooks for cancer patients. She's
Oh,
a
wow.
macrobiotic cook. She'll come to my house and be like, "Why are you using that cleaning product? It smells." And I'm like, "But it's clean. It says clean." And I won't name the brand. And she has to like sit outside like with a headache.
It's immediate headache for me.
And then you like lie on your pillowcase
Right.
and you're smelling it
Well,
and you
okay,
just
so
realize you're
I'm
just
so
like
glad you
sick all
said
the
that
time.
because one of the biggest things that was transformative for me was going to Marilee's house and for the first time being removed from scents. Because I grew up with all the scented laundry detergent and dryer sheets. And so I first got
Candles.
there and Marilee's like, "We're going to outgas your clothes." I was like, "What do you mean?" Like, she's like, "We're going to put those in the sun."
Kelly's like, what are you
I'm
talking
like
about?
smelling my clothes. I couldn't really smell how strong they were because my body adapted. Our bodies are amazing. My body adapted and I couldn't really notice how strong it was until I removed it. So we always invite and challenge people to go fragrance free and just see what you feel like a month later or something. And with everything, I'm sure y'all know, like our whole message and mission is to help people toss the toxins in their home, create a healthier home. And so like you don't have to necessarily throw everything out. You could literally just put everything in a Sterilite container, put it in your garage or outside, and give yourself a break and a chance to like, be away from it and then see how you react. And almost every time people are eyes watering, coughing, sneezing, migraine headache, asthmatic reactions as soon as they open the box. It's wild.
No deodorant? So don't
we
do-
were
I do wear,
like unscented.
Well, I actually
I wear
only
unscented, too.
wear it. Well, I do like the Primarily Pure charcoal one, which does have. That's like the only time I use. I can't even handle essential oils. I'm like completely fragrance free other than that. But I only use my deodorant like if I need it. So like I don't put it on every day as like a preemptive action. And honestly, the only times I need it are if I'm wearing synthetic clothing. If I'm wearing like linen or cotton, natural fibers, it's amazing. Like you don't need it.
Okay, so back to Branch Basics. We're at the blog. At that
Yes.
point. Enter, how does the brand come about?
yeah.
So we are walking with Marilee. the three of us are just dreaming about, reaching the world with everything we've learned from Marilee. And the cleaning products that we had on our site was a concentrate model that Marilee had used with her son and extremely chemically sensitive clients. And it was the only thing that they didn't react to. And the marketing, the branding was really awful.
You were selling it, or you were telling people to make it at home?
So we were selling it.
Okay.
It was one of our products that we had in the category of
Worked
all
so
the
well,
different
but yeah, it was
things.
so ugly. We were just like, oh.
So it was like, we checked, that one was like what we checked the box for our cleaning category on our website. And the branding was just awful. And we were like, we feel like we could reach so many more people if we branded this ourselves. And we had the opportunity to private label or white label that product and create our own branding. And so that took us from just becoming an online retailer to having our own brand that we could really own.
But you were selling units of this other one, the ugly one, a lot, or?
This was 15, 16 years ago.
Here and there.
Not a ton.
Okay.
Not a ton, but it was probably what we were selling the most of. Obviously more than saunas and mattresses and water filters,
And is that because on your recommendations blog, there was just no cleaning products to put on there? So you were...
There really were
making
not
your
good
own.
options.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. And this was the one that had been tried and true with the chemically sensitive. It was a pretty well-known brand within that group of people.
Yeah, even Marilee had tried all the ones at the grocery store, even at Whole Foods, the natural ones.
And her son was being,
her clients would react. So we private labeled this. This was in 2012. We made our first batch and labeled all the bottles ourselves in Houston, Texas. And it started quickly becoming our number one product.
And you named it Branch Basics at that point?
Yes,
okay.
yeah. And so our other site, our whole site, our retail site was called 3 Branches Healthy Living. And then, so the cleaning product was just Branch Basics. And we decided, a few months after trying to do both, just to drop the retail site and lean into Branch Basics. And like we said, create our own brand, because we really see our brand as a vehicle to educate, to spread our message and mission. We talk about so much more than just cleaning products. And so, yeah, that was how we kind of got into it. And thankfully that private label option really helped us just get started, because we had no clue what we were doing. We are not business majors. We're just super passionate about healthy living and helping people use safe products and living healthier lives. And so it allowed us to kind of ease into this world. I wanted to be a Pilates instructor. Allison was majored in PR, but we found ourselves in this entrepreneurial, direct-to-consumer packaged goods kind of world. And then everything was going great until we got to a point where it wasn't. We were very strung along by the owner of this product, and there were proprietary ingredients. We knew everything was safe. We had all the toxicology testing, but we were not privy to the exact formulation. And
it was plant and mineral based enzymes, a proprietary blend, which today we would tell people, if you see the word proprietary,
yeah.
But back then, we just knew that it had worked for all these chemically sensitive people. We felt so confident, and we still do. We had, in product testing, and no one was ever injured. It was always the safest product that people,
But we were we're telling people to look at ingredient lists, and we can't even offer full transparency. And so we wanted full transparency. We wanted to own everything, and we made the really tough decision to shut down. We completely shut down.
What year was this?
But that's because you found a toxic chemical in that proprietary blend, or it's just because you didn't know what was in there?
It's because we didn't know what was in it.
Okay.
And we
know it wasn't toxic because we've done all this testing.
Yeah.
Right. We spent all of our money, basically went bankrupt testing to prove that it wasn't toxic, because we felt so badly, because people were like, well, wait a minute, you don't even know? We're like, well, wait, I don't know. It's safe.
I don't know how to run a business.
I don't know. My cousin
We've
healed,
been using
right?
it for years, decades. Basically, we were told that we were going to get to own the formula. We had an exclusive licensing agreement, and it just became clear that it was never going to happen.
Yeah.
And so that's why we were like, we can't just keep going. We got to cut the cord and make our own product.
So why did you decide to shut it down instead of allow it to continue when you knew it wasn't toxic until you found...
I'll answer that one. I thought, we are over. I'm not a chemist. I'm not a formulator. I am now pregnant with my first child. I also don't even know what that really feels like or looks like to be a mom. We had no money. My husband was in entrepreneur school down the road. I was like, okay, Marilyn, Kelly, I am still super passionate about educating people about healthy living, but like, we got to be real. Like, we don't have a business background. We now don't even have a product. Like, what are we doing?
The brand was making money at that point or not? Really?
What are we doing at that point?
No,
like,
we were making money, and it
2016.
was our best year. We had just done $1 million in revenue.
We had 9 employees. We let all
Crazy
of
to
them
want to
go
quit at that point.
because we had nothing to sell. 'Cause
it was
we were all
honestly
about this hero product.
Right.
Yeah, and y'all understand, so much of business is about the people and the relationships, and the relationship with our supplier was just not good. And so we were like, we cannot build this brand and continue to invest and we had raised $1 million from friends and family. If like we can clearly tell this is like not going well, you know, this is not headed for the right direction with this relationship. And so,
And this product felt like almost like a unicorn. Like, there's no way we can recreate it, and there's nothing on the shelves of Whole Foods that meets our standards, because our standards are so high. I mean, potassium, sorbate and sodium benzoate and all these non-toxic, clean preservatives, additives that are in green cleaning products, like Marilee would never let us use.
Isn't sodium benzoate in baby wipes?
preservatives.
Yeah, they're in lots of things.
Oof.
And so Marilee, which I'm so thankful for her standards, but I was like, we want a unicorn, we can't get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not possible.
Because we are big about epigenetics, and even like tiny amounts of chemicals can turn on and off genes, and
especially in daily use items,
Yeah.
influence your hormones and all that. And so yeah, Marilee was very adamant about like, no, this, and this.
Our no list was like,
it was like,
use this
okay.
to create the perfect formula.
yeah. But thankfully, we did. Before we shut down, we started talking to other manufacturers, and they were all willing to work with us, like no cost up front, in hopes to get the manufacturing rights if they formulated something with us. And so that's how we made it work. But honestly, it was the best thing that that relationship went south, because it forced us to make our own thing and build our own brand and have a way stronger foundation than we ever would have if we didn't own it.
So even when you shut down, the intention was to bring it back.
Yes, totally. I just, of the three of us, speaking for myself, I was just like, I don't think that this can happen. I don't think that we can create something with no chemistry and no formulation background, with basically no money. And so I was feeling very doubtful. I mean, but it took us over 100 iterations in a year and a half to come out with our current formula. And
So no product for a year and a half on the market.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then what year are
When
we
we
at?
came back in 2017, we launched with a pre-order. And I remember we had like 8,000 Instagram followers and like 30,000 newsletter subscribers. And we were like, okay, we don't know if they've stuck around. We don't know if they're like
pretty
gonna,
good group.
Market.
Yeah.
Because back then,
want what we have to offer.
Yeah.
But thankfully, it went really well, and it was very successful pre-order. So at that time, actually, we, like Allison said, we were both about to have our first babies, or we both had our first babies when we did the pre-order. We partnered with 2 guys who actually do have a business background. They are amazing, all 5 of us. So Marilee, Allison, myself, and these 2 guys now are all
We're
equal
5
partners.
equal partners.
Wow.
And so they really run the back end. They do all, CEO and CFO, and they have really helped manage the team and do really grow the business, where Allison, Marilee, and I can really focus on education and product innovation, and just
Honestly,
it's been
too,
amazing.
like knowing your strengths and recognizing your weaknesses, and realizing that it is better to have a smaller piece of a much bigger pie than to own most of the pie yourself and it be really small. It's just, we get asked this question a lot, because we talk to a lot of people that are starting businesses or struggling or wondering what the next step is in their growth. And if you really trust people and you see that they're a complement to your own strengths, like, I'm a huge fan of bringing people on and giving them equity, and really, but you want to make sure it is sweat, like that they have something in the dog in the fight. You don't want to just pay them a lot of money. I mean, you want them to have to earn it and to believe in it and to feel the passion. And when we met these 2 guys, like, it was so clear that they admired so much our passion, and we admired so much their, wherewithal on the business side. Like, we were like the perfect peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
So we actually almost partnered with 2 other guys, and we were like literally to the point where we were about to sign the papers, and we were like, this just does not feel right.
Did not.
And
Gotta trust your gut,
you
I
know.
know.
And we could very clearly see just through certain wording that it was like they don't see our value.
Yeah, they didn't appreciate what we were bringing.
And like
Yeah.
this could very much turn into a situation where they just kind of like
Try to
put
take
us on
it.
the sidelines and don't
want
really,
our signatures on the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Nope.
Yeah. Don't really like let our,
Yeah.
you know, bring us into the decision. So.
And you guys are going to do well over $50 million now. So do you think that they are like a proponent of that? Your partners? Like, have they helped build that side of the business?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. I wish
But-
we had a sliding door moment and could see just where we were without them.
And what
But
what year did they
They
come?
came on in 2016.
Okay,
Okay,
right
so when
Yeah.
you relaunched.
When we relaunched.
Yeah, they were
literally
part of that
it was all
relaunch
like
and been
at
on
the
it
same
ever
time.
since.
Yeah.
So they run most of the business side. They're in Minneapolis. We have about half of our employees there, about 20 something employees there, and then the other half just scattered around the country. But most of our customer service and leadership team
Operations team.
operations is all up in Minneapolis.
Got it.
And they're, you know, we used to deal with trigger sprayer issues and a mold out of China that was faulty, and now we don't.
Bottle mold.
Now we're just
not
trying,
like
Kelly and I, sorry. Not
moldy products.
yeah. But now we run our Instagram, which is honestly, we never saw ourselves being like influencers. I struggle with that word sometimes, but my God, it is so amazing the timing of building this company and wanting to have a platform. Marilee always said, I want a megaphone in a mountain because I want to prevent people from one day saying, why didn't someone tell me this?
Right.
And that's what Instagram has given us. That's what we were kind of part of the Facebook heyday. You know, like it was so
Yeah.
fun back in the day. You could just get all these followers, all these sales by doing like a quick little promo on Facebook. I mean, you have to work a lot harder for it now, but social media has been such a blessing. I mean, we just turn our phones around and we can educate people, which is why we always wanted to be a
it's
direct to
why we
consumer
started
company.
Yeah.
this. And it's what our passion is. Through all these ups and downs, the roller coaster of creating and growing this business, like if we weren't passionate about it, we totally would have checked out.
Yeah. I mean, the internet is also a little bit of a bipolar space, though, right? Like, I agree that like you should be given the correct information and you should be able to make your own decisions based off of the information that exists. But there's also a perspective of like your fear mongering.
Yes.
So like, do you get a lot of pushback?
Well, and there's so
because
much
of that?
confusion too.
Yeah. Like who's right? Like
Right.
you'll have one person say like, "Oh, this is all a lie. It's actually safe," you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
the other way around. So
You know,
like,
Marilee, from the very beginning, from that summer we lived with her, so much of the focus was on our words and our thought life. And we are still very huge advocates of just taking the positive side of it. So like even just talking about epigenetics and how a one drop in an Olympic sized pool can, you know, affect genetic expression. That can be overwhelming. Or you can say, wow, wait, so I'm not a victim of my genetics. I don't have to die of the same thing my mom, my grandmother, and my great aunt died of. Like, we really want to turn this whole kind of fear mongering around health and like make it something that is actually empowering and hopeful. Like when Marilee called and said to me, hey, what's your 3-day diet diary? And I'm like, wait, I have control over my health. You know, like if there's one takeaway that anyone can have from the education that we're providing, it's that you really don't need to go out and spend a bunch of money on the latest treatment or a cleanse or an expensive sauna or whatever's trending in the wellness community. Like, remove the obstacles and your body will start healing. Get back to basics. Eat real food. Take out the things in your home that are not serving you. Don't buy Branch Basics. Like, I would rather you go and remove all the toxic things in your home that are undermining your health versus me send you a starter kit and set it next to that and think that now you're healthy because you own Branch Basics. Like, we send starter kits out to people all the time. And I'm like, the only thing I'm asking is that you go clean out your house first. And then here's something that can be helpful to replace it. But you could also use vinegar. You could also use,
water.
mild soap, hot water. Like, there's so many amazing things that we can do. We can open our windows. We can stop wearing our shoes inside the house. Like, free medicine is so powerful. Sunlight on our eyes.
Natalie, what's the worst part about running an e-com brand?
Honestly, dealing with all the mail you get about sales tax.
Oh my God, it is the worst.
Yeah, I used to get a heart attack every time I got a letter.
Good thing you use Numeral now.
Yeah, Numeral deals with all of our sales tax mail. They scan it and even take action on it for me.
If you want to stop worrying about sales tax and all the mail that comes with it, book a call with Numeral today.
My son has crazy allergies.
Yeah.
Could I, like anaphylactic, it's like, could I cure his allergies with this alone?
Oh, I believe
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm doing a desensitization, but that's
So
crazy.
we did this project.
My husband needs to listen to this.
We called it the 10-day stay.
We need you to talk to Marilee. We'll get you all in touch.
I would love to.
We did this project where we took a few people and for 10 days put them in a non-toxic environment and gave them only organic, whole, real food, and did sunlight and grounding and just all the free tools that Allison was just talking about, journaling. And after one night of sleeping in a completely non-toxic, fragrance-free environment, so I'm talking like organic cotton sheets and that had only been washed in Branch Basics, like completely fragrance-free, no more asthma. She had asthma from the age of 4 and was doing nebulizers, inhalers multiple times a day. And after that one night, her asthma is gone.
Oh, wow. I need to talk to you guys offline about this.
She's
This
41
is crazy.
now. This is 2 years. And I mean,
Yeah.
we've taken 6 people to the 10-day stay, and my nanny went through it. And we actually did a urinalysis on day 1 and then a urinalysis on day 10. Her total VOCs went down by 92%.
What's a VOC?
Volatile organic compounds in her body that basically she was exposed to through all the things that she's inhaling, breathing, because our bodies
All
can't.
the chemicals that are outgassing that we can smell.
You know, at our house, you have furniture, you have carpet.
Right.
So
Yeah.
for a
Yes.
basic, you know, even me, I'm overwhelmed and I try to be like somewhat natural. It's like getting rid of the cleaning supplies, but obviously I can't move furniture. So what else?
Right.
Organic.
Just and opening your
Sheets,
windows
open the
and
windows.
air purifiers, like those things.
Food
help so
storage, I
much.
think, is a huge one.
Yes.
So, like all the synthetic fragrances, but all the plasticizers, and people are still using BPA-free plastic food storage and water bottles and stuff, and like those are just high in BPS. Sure, there's no BPA, but there's all the other bisphenols.
So what
you
do
know?
we store it in?
Glass or
Glass
stainless
or
steel.
silicone.
Glass or
But
I have
okay, so
stainless steel. Okay.
her results
Not
just
breakable.
on BPA went down 99.7% of the BPA in her body from day 1 to day 10, because her body, when you're not introduced to these things on a daily basis, your body's constantly trying to reach homeostasis. So she's dumping these things, clearing.
Yep.
You know, she has never been the same since. She is off all her allergy medicine. She cannot go up a flight of stairs without an inhaler. She's part of the Houston Run Club. Like, she lost all this weight. Her skin is glowing. She has no menstrual cramps anymore ever since the 10-day stay.
I think my
amazing.
biggest issue is probably skincare, and I'm pretty clean on
most
skincare.
women-
So what
but,
skincare
like,
can we use?
Yeah.
What,
There's so many good brands.
Yeah.
you have a list on your
And
site?
finally,
keep it
True
basic,
Botanicals,
too.
Tubes and
True
Co.
Botanicals is actually
Yes,
clean.
They're made safe. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I would say if you are really trying to heal, like cutting out essential oils for that period, but making sure if you're going to use essential oils that they are solvent-free, super, super clean.
Drift is a brand that is essential oil free.
To get back to your product a little bit, I know you're saying we don't even recommend people to have to use our products, but your
business guys
your-
are
thinking of your business friends, your white powder actually is like
It's amazing.
my husband's favorite thing. Like
I
we
love it,
use
oxygen
it for
boost.
everything.
Yeah.
Like even our nanny now, it's like this stuff is insane.
What do you
Yeah.
use it for? Because
I literally put it in pans
Yes,
to like
pots
and
it,
pans.
it cleans
So
the
great.
entire. You're like I never thought my
Burn
pan
your
would look
pan,
brand
you're
new
like,
again.
There's no way. Yeah.
Sometimes like we have one of those like glass aqua pure or
Yep.
like is that what it's
Yeah.
called, and it gets moldy
Yep.
because it sits in the sun, so we're constantly cleaning that out. It's amazing. We just use it
Yeah.
for everything.
We
We're
put
just
it
like
literally in every
sprinkling
load of laundry.
powder.
Oh, you can just use
Yeah,
that
I
for
put it in my
laundry.
whites.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's for laundry.
So
I
it
put it in my
brightens
whites.
your
It's for laundry, but
brights
also
and
pots and
whites.
pans and shower grout, all that
Yeah, I
stuff.
put it everywhere.
Toilet. I mean,
Yeah.
every stain that my kids have ever gotten, I
Yeah, I
have a
put it
safe-
on and
What
then I
about
vacuum
windows?
it
How do we
up.
clean
Blow out
windows
some,
with? Because I didn't
we
know
have
that.
5-month-old.
a streak-free bottle
Okay.
that is specifically for windows,
I
and you
actually do have
essentially
that.
need the
Literally
tiniest
a
amount.
drop.
You get the trigger
sprayer.
sprayer kind of dip tube. You dip it in the concentrate and then just put it back and screw it onto
Oh,
the bottle.
wow.
That's like all you need.
Great.
Yeah.
But that's what's so fun is that our products actually work. So it's like you don't have to sacrifice efficacy for
Yeah,
safety, you know?
definitely.
And that's, I think, one of the things that has gotten us far, like helped us grow, because people were willing to try it for the safety, but they kept buying it because it actually worked.
Yeah.
You know?
I know your guys' like purpose is really about like educating people on this journey and like, you know, helping them understand how they can change their homes. And I think you have like over 500,000 Instagram followers now. Like what is next for the brand, since you've already, I mean, there's obviously a lot more people to reach, but like how do you think about the future of the brand?
I mean, it feels like it's endless. It feels like until everyone has heard this message about removal and the body's ability to restore and how simple it really is, like there's more work to be done, you know? And that's really what we're doing.
And
So,
to your
but
point
yes,
with your son with allergies, so many more people are having allergies and asthma. And so we are really trying to differentiate ourselves as fragrance-free only line.
Yeah.
And any more products, like any categories, like organic sheets?
Yeah,
Like, are you going to go into any crazy categories?
Last night I was like, should we make furniture? Should you
Would you just make it all so I can do a one-stop?
That's our conversation on the balcony of our hotel last night.
Well, so, okay, we've been really diligent about direct-to-consumer for years. We wanted to educate with our, customers, build that relationship, that customer loyalty before going into retail. But we did just launch in retail with Target last spring, or this spring, this year.
Yeah.
I just had a baby. I've been like, it's like we literally launched in Target and then I had a baby like 2 weeks later. So yeah, we launched our concentrate and our spray bottles, but this is the first time we've done ready to use. So if for those of you listening, we sell a concentrate that you mix at home with, fill water to the water line, add a little bit of concentrate, and then you're done. It's super easy, but you do mix it yourself. Well, retail, this is the first time we've done ready to use products. And thankfully it has gone really well. We've had a very successful launch at Target. We've tripled their sales goals every month, and
You're the number one cleaning
At least
brand there,
doubled.
right? In the
In the
Yes,
naturals category.
first
We were number 2
top.
for a minute because we were out of stock.
That's acceptable.
We're really frustrated about it.
in less than a year, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's been really,
It's been
honestly,
very
partnering them has
exciting.
been super fun. I will give us credit, and I will really give the guys credit for saying no, because all those no's really led to like this big yes.
Yeah.
Because we were approached by a lot of other
we
people
could have
through the
gotten
years,
distracted,
and we
for
could
sure.
have definitely gotten distracted. And I mean, we were just giving some business advice to someone we were meeting with right before this podcast, and she is wanting to go straight to retail because it feels exciting that another brand would want you. But then all of a sudden, if you're really passionate about something you're doing, and you start getting lost in this whole business to business relationship, and you have lost that connection with your end user, it can really like fizzle that passion pretty quickly,
Yeah.
and then your story is really not the one being amplified. It's more just about like trying to get on shelves and trying to get higher on the shelf and trying to get to eye level. It's just a lot of that kind of rat
Yeah.
race, and it's wonderful. I mean, retail is amazing, and Target has been the best thing for us because they have such a platform in which we can now expand our brand. But I'm so thankful that we held on as long as we did, because we've made ourselves more of a household name, and we've gained this amazing, wonderful community. And they're almost like pulling us into stores now,
Right. They're the ones
Yeah.
that have made this launch so successful.
Totally.
And
You don't just show up on a shelf and start selling.
Right.
Like, people
No.
need to know the brand
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
So wait, no other categories? Then?
so
I need to
we
know.
are going to stick with cleaning for
Okay.
a while, but we do have some, I guess some other ideas, but nothing too crazy that maybe some baby wipes down the road, or
That would be
Yes,
amazing.
please.
Yeah, I've always wanted a bar soap. I'm like,
I actually have
soap.
started
Yeah.
using the dry wipes because of a podcast
good.
that I heard you recommend. on.
Here's the deal.
the-
It's back to the epigenetics thing,
Yeah.
where if you have a tiny ingredient, even if it's the last one on the list, but you're putting it in an area of a baby that is highly absorbable, and it is a multi-use, daily use item. I mean, they are getting that. They are absorbing that into their bloodstream. And so you just want to make sure that those daily use items are as clean as possible. And if it takes one extra step to like have a dry wipe, we use the organic
What's
cotton.
the dry
Honest
wipe, or
company.
what's the wipe I can
Honest
use?
company.
Honest
Dry wipe.
dry
organic
wipe.
dry
Yeah.
cotton wipes.
They're amazing.
Need
And
a
I
pen.
literally will I'll put them in a wipes container, like the OXO wipes container, and they'll stay in water for about 4 days, but then they'll grow mold, which shows you that the wet wipes that you're buying off the store shelf, they have enough of a preservative in them to prevent mold for months and months and months and months. So even that's a small amount, that's a pretty strong preservative, right? So
Yeah, and if you need them for on the go, like you can put some in a little bag, or there are times where we have used other brands that are
Absolutely,
like
yes.
store-bought brands,
Just
pre-wet
if you
wipes,
can.
especially if,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
someone else is taking care of them.
Wait, on the topic of kids, you guys each have 4 kids. I mean, I have 3, and people think that's crazy, especially running a company. It just seems absolutely impossible
yeah.
until you're in it and you just do
Yeah,
it.
you
But
just
I
do
need
it.
to know,
Yeah.
like, what are your mom hacks for like being a present mom and also running a huge company that's still in growth mode with 4 children?
Yes.
Cut out everything else. We don't play mahjong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
and I'm excited for the day that I will learn how to play mahjong, because most of my friends know how to play. But I don't even have FOMO though, because I used to be like, oh, I feel bad, I can't go to this. Like, I personally can speak to this and just say, like, I have owned where I am in life. I am thankful that God has given me this path. I feel like I am on mission. And I was even telling Kelly last night, like, with my first and second kids, I would feel guilty if I wasn't the one picking them up from preschool or going to the parks with them. But now, like, my nanny will send pictures from the park, and sometimes I'll be like, oh, I should take him to the park soon. But most of the time I'm like, that's super cute. I'm so glad that he's doing that with her. And like, I'm doing what I'm doing. But like, in the end of the day, I'm tucking all my kids in bed. I am not out with friends. I am not going on girl trips. I am not playing tennis or mahjong. I am working out. I'm getting my workouts in. I have someone come to my house. Like, I used to just kind of feel like, oh, I don't know. Should I get more help? Yes, I should get more help. And if I can afford it, if I can have someone come and help me with my laundry and, come clean my house twice a week, like, I have no shame in that, because I am delegating so that I can do the best to be the best mom that I can be. Because any free time that I have, I want to spend with my kids.
I love that.
Yeah, definitely trying as much to like prioritize separating time with my kids and work and like block scheduling, because there are times when I try and juggle it all at once, and like, I'm like with my kids and I'm trying to do this call. And trying to
also homeschool,
and it's just so hard.
That's amazing.
Yes, we do part-time homeschool.
Oh wait,
so
Natalie,
it's the best.
All of her DMs to me are like, this person's homeschooling. This
we do a hybrid model
because it's a hybrid. But
I block off.
We do need to talk about this, because we both want to homeschool.
We can talk all this.
Let's start a cute little LA homeschool, and they'll be outside and barefoot.
Yes, agree.
So great.
We'll move.
But I love it because it forces me to block that schedule. So like, my team knows I'm not available Monday, Wednesday, Friday, until like 11 o'clock. I've told my team, I'm like, I am terrible about keeping up with email. I can't keep up with Slack, group me's, emails, texts, like all the things. So if you want me, Allison's long voice text,
I won't listen to voice notes. Oops.
If you want me for something like that's important or timely, text me or call me. So it's just like little things like that, like blocking schedule, making sure you like communicate which communication styles work best for you, and then like really trying to stack like meetings or podcasts. Like we were supposed to, so we're doing another podcast after this. We were supposed to do it tomorrow, and we were like, wait, let's see if we can do them back to back, so we can get home and only be away from our kids for one night, our families for one night.
And being on the offense, like I used to always be on the defense. Like something comes in and I'm trying to check it while I'm at the park. But now I'm like, no, I take my 3-year-old and 1-year-old to music class from 9:15 to 10:30 every Monday. And my phone is as far away as possible. I mean, I am the mom that is so into our music class. Like, even the instructor afterwards is like, do you have like a music background? Did you used to teach? I'm like, no, but I've blocked this hour in my schedule. And so I am like, hello to Townsy. I'm like so into it, because like that's where I want to show up. You know?
I find you also get more, like I would get really frustrated with her for needing my attention when I was trying to respond to an email. Now I come inside, I put my phone in my room and I don't touch it again until after bedtime. Like, it's just like, you're so much happier. She's happier. I also read somewhere that it's actually not about collective time. It's about the focus that they get in the time that they have.
Those 10 minutes. Yeah. So much more than that like distracted hour.
Exactly.
It also always gets done. So I found that like setting a mantra helps, but also just like, it always gets done. Yeah. Even if the notifications are building up, it always gets done. So why stress that they're coming in?
Someone told us recently, you're not running an emergency room. It's okay if your social is dipping, or if you're locked out of Instagram, or if you didn't post this timely thing.
No one else is from the outside is looking at it going, oh, Branch Basics hasn't posted in a couple of days.
And delegating. All about delegating.
Yes, exactly. All about delegating, getting people you trust. I mean, this is the first mat leave. So this is my 4th child. This is the first mat leave I like fully feel like I totally checked
For
out.
how long?
Like 4 months.
Wow.
So of course I had like some calls, and I would hop on our partner's call and listen to him. But like, I just felt like this is amazing. Like, we've finally gotten to the point, like through the growing pains, where all of our employees, everyone on our team is playing in position, and we're just rocking and rolling. And it's been so great, because we used to make every decision together, as a group, and we kind of have our hand into everything. And now I'm like, I honestly couldn't tell you what our operations team is doing right now.
Well, that's the best. That's a well-run company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's been really nice.
Yeah.
Like having people that you can delegate to, that you trust.
And just like 5 different decision makers, 5 different categories. I feel that with like my 3 decision makers, you know, you just don't have to worry about all of these other areas of the business because you trust.
Hire people you trust.
Yeah.
Even if you're having to pay for it.
It makes your life sane and you want to still be in the business decades later.
Right. Long lasting for sure.
Your story is crazy because I feel like now that we're learning about all of these different entrepreneurs, there's often a moment where the company like either went away or like sunk. So knowing that, what would you, if you went back to the beginning, what would you have done differently?
I mean, we joke that we could have put ourselves through 3 different business schools with the amount of money that we have made in mistakes. So maybe we should have actually gone to business school.
No.
I was like, no.
I agree. No.
Learn
Just
by
hire
experience.
The real deal.
beginning.
Yes.
Hire people that knew the business, that had gone to business school from the beginning instead of waiting and trying to figure it out all ourselves so that we could have stayed more focused.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, I think too, putting yourself out there in the situations that you don't feel equipped for, and just try it, just do it, because I think we held ourselves back so many times thinking, oh, we didn't go to business school, or I don't know how to do that. And it's like, no, you actually do know more than you think, and like trust your gut, and just like don't wait for experts to tell you what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
And now there's podcasts like this so people can learn.
Yeah, exactly.
I have one last question before we move on to hot takes. So obviously this is not our studio, so we're not offended by the candle. But how do you, if you walk in somewhere or you're at someone's house, it's a play date and they have candles going or something, like you're cringing about the system, what do you do? How do you manage
Totally
that?
depends on who it is.
Yes, totally depends on the
So
situation.
because it's you guys, like when I walked in and there was a candle burning, and so I was just like, I'm really sensitive. I don't know you guys super well, right? But like the second time, like now that I know y'all, I would have walked in and been like, okay guys, this is not good for us. Let's blow it out. But you always just have to kind of test, and I put it on me. I'm like, I don't care if people think
Well,
I'm
and to
weird.
be clear, y'all didn't want the candle either. So
Right.
No, yeah,
exactly.
Are you crazy at like a kid birthday party? If there's a cookie that your kid needs with red food dye and they're gonna feel excluded, or now they're gonna have
So you have to have
eating
your
disorder.
no-nevers.
So-
like we kind of have different, like we have a little bit different views on
because
this.
it depends on how you and your partner, your husband or wife or whatever feel. So
My no-never is food dye, but like other things, I've let my kids like.
So you let your
on.
kids go crazy at birthday parties to not.
I
No, she
encourage
doesn't.
them not to, but I will. They've never had food dyes, and I will never let them. Have
Whereas
food dyes.
a lot of times I will say, okay, let's scrape off the food, let's scrape off the icing, and you can have the other part. But Allison may say, like, no, we're not going to have anything at all. We're going to go get something else after, or look, have this what I brought instead. Wow. But again, every circumstance is different. It depends on who you're around or how the kid's feeling. If they've been sick or if they've got a cold, like, absolutely, like, no, that's not going to help you make feel better. But in general, I think there really is always a way to like be polite and not offend people. And I think also just taking the approach or the perspective of like, oh, hey, I just learned this, or I just heard this on a podcast the other day. Have you ever heard this? Versus you being like, you should not eat that, blah, 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 like as if like you're the authority telling someone what to do.
Put it
like
on you.
kind of like say, hey, I just learned this, like, and share from that perspective, like, because it's something that you want them to learn too.
Like we went my end of year party with my 5-year-old. There's a snow cone truck, and it was just literally pouring different food dyes on ice, and that for me is just like, we're not going to do it. So I said, Francis, like after this, we're going to go get something really fun. I'm so sorry I didn't bring anything, but like, we're not going to do the food dye thing. It kind of makes us a little bit crazy, and it really does kind of make her crazy. But y'all, all these moms started kind of like, they were like, wait, so I'm noticing Francis just has the ice. Like what, so why are you not doing this? I mean, there were like 7 moms.
Well, they also know you run brand
Right.
Some of them don't.
That does help.
Some of them don't, because I was like kind of new in this time with this school, and I thought, as I was leaving, I thought, wow, like had I just let her go, not only would she have put stuff in her body that's illegal in Europe, and it's like being banned here, but 2, like I was able to plant a seed with these moms, and 2 of them have since basically cut out food dyes. Like, and so I'll let my kids, like, we ate a cookie cake the other day. I mean, I'm definitely not like super strict as they're getting older, I want them to feel like they can fit in. But they've owned the food dye thing. They're like, oh, we don't do food dyes in our house. That's just like, we're the Evans. We don't do that, And
That's
so
amazing.
it's just kind of become like part of their identity, whereas they can kind of stand up for themselves now, and they've owned it, and not instead of feeling like I'm forcing it down their throat.
I had
love
an
that.
instance like this at your house.
Okay, but this makes me seem so bad. That was Matt.
No,
my husband got them a giant food dye lollipop. That's all I'm thinking.
No, that's not what I'm thinking about. Mine was like, I was trying not to let Cleo have sugar until she turned 2, which is really, really hard because at that age then,
it is.
But she's not in school, so she doesn't have any friends. But like every other kid had one, and there's a photo of her like standing in the background with nothing.
Yes.
And I was like,
hard.
actually, I've done the wrong thing. Like my gut was saying like, that's going to create a different issue.
You don't
Johnny
want to create.
So-
Is that allowed?
That's way better.
That's Johnny
Think
Pop
about it.
dyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have a lot of like additives, but those are not food dyes.
And
They
there
don't
are
use food dyes.
some, I know, I would love for them to take out the natural flavors, but
Yeah.
at least you can, at least there are some that even within the same brand, I'm glad you brought that up, because there are some that have better ingredients than others. So like I get the ones like those birthday ones. What are the Johnny Pops? I'm talking about within
the
Johnny
birthday
Pops.
color.
Yeah. Those actually like have better ingredients than some of the others. So, but I think with certain situations, yes, you always have to weigh like the fear and stress that you're going to cause or whatever it is. Like if I'm at a Christmas party, the holidays are coming up, like, and there's candles burning everywhere, I just kind of like stand by the door or go in and outside, like get some fresh air
I wouldn't say
outside.
anything in
I'm
that
not going to like
situation.
ask the host to like put the candle out. I'm not going to leave the party. But then like when I get home, I'm going to shower because my hair and my clothes are like so, smelly. So they're just different situations. You kind of,
I mean, the way you asked was like perfectly. If I lit that candle, I wouldn't have been offended,
Yeah.
Right.
So-
You just have to, like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sensitive. Do you mind if I roll down the window? Do you mind if, this?
Asthma,
Especially 'cause I'm
allergies.
sitting
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yesterday. So I love going to the taxi line when I get to an airport because taxis are usually always so much less fragrant than ride shares. Ride shares are like so
and a lot of
fragrant.
times quicker.
And so
I need to book like 3 to 4 Ubers for my mom to be willing to get in one. I'm like, she'll smell it and she'll be like, nope, and I have to
they're
cancel
so
it. I'm like,
That would be my best friend.
I'm like, there's a cancellation fee every time I do this. She's like, I'm not sitting in that car.
I love your
I
mom.
need your mom to trail
I'm like,
me.
I want to hang out with your mom.
Can your mom? She's the harsh Mary Lee.
She's gonna love this episode.
But it's so great because the taxi line, not only are they usually always like less fragrant, they have the line. So I just walked up, and just to make it easier, like people understand the word allergy. So I'm just like, I'm allergic to scents. Do you have any air fresheners? And he said no. So thankfully I got in the first one. But it's like they have the lineup, so you could just kind of go and find
that's
one
smart.
that doesn't have any.
I feel like this episode could literally be 3 hours because I,
know,
still have
so
so
good.
many
Silly.
questions, but we do need to wrap up. And we love to end this with just a hot take. So like, it can be about anything. Just give us your hot take.
One from each of you.
I think because we're in the like baby mode, I have a 1-year-old. My hot take, and I wish that every single stroller company could listen to this. I want flame retardants to be removed from strollers. It is an unnecessary evil. It has been proven to be connected to infertility, lower IQ. These babies are developing their lungs, especially in the first year. They're living in those car seats
I know,
that
mine
turn
sleeps
stroller.
in it all
and
the
I'm like,
time.
and I understand the convenience of it, of being able to pop the car seat out and it becomes a stroller and stuff, but there's not one that's not sprayed with flame retardants. And I'm like, there's got to be a way.
Just make it
it without the spray down.
Wow.
Because they do exist, and there's ways to meet flammability requirements without adding flame retardants. We've been talking about this since the 70s with Rachel Carson and Silent Spring, and I mean, people are still doing it. So that is my hot take.
Are there any brands that you would recommend?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Nuna is great.
Okay.
I mean, even Britex makes a line without flame retardants. I mean, there's so many companies doing it right, but there is yet to be a car seat turned stroller that has done it right. And I'm like, someone fill the gap.
I know.
What about
I
baby
used that
carrier?
one.
Is Artipop safe?
Great. Yes.
Okay,
All
well,
baby
yeah, it's
carriers
like
don't
wool,
have air
yeah.
retardants. It's the car seats because they're trying to meet these requirements.
the standards, I guess, if you're in a car accident.
Yeah. They'll be removed soon, but
Yeah.
it can be done faster in my opinion.
Okay.
Okay, so I actually have 2. Is that okay? Can
Yes.
I share 2
We
that
love
I'm really
hot
fired
takes.
up right now about? Because I just stayed somewhere with fragrant laundry detergent. If you change one thing, please change your laundry detergent. You never escape it. You're sleeping on it. You are wearing your clothes all day. You get out of the shower, you immediately dry. Like, you are inhaling and absorbing your laundry detergent all day long. And it is literally that one product, you could have a clean home like otherwise, like no candles, no air fresheners, like all glass, Tupperware, whatever. And that one choice can affect your entire air quality and like linger. So I just stayed somewhere. I got home. I washed all of our stuff. It's still on my clothes and on my suitcase.
Yeah. And it wasn't one, right? Even. You make one?
Yes. So obviously I would love for you to switch to Branch Basics. It's completely fragrance-free laundry detergent. But it just, that one product, I think, is like the number one. And then also light. I'm really big into light right now. And I think that it is so, so important, more than we realize, to get up, look at morning light, get morning light in your eyes, get light throughout the day in your eyes and on your body, and then look at the evening light, like as sun's going down, sunset, and then try and do like red light at night after it's dark. So
and what do you think that benefits?
And it benefits so much because it affects our hormones, and our hormones impact so much of our health and mental health, physical health. I didn't realize until recently just like how just changing light alone, not even exercise or diet, can make people lose like 50 pounds in a month or two. I mean, it's like wild how much it can affect weight, mood, attention, focus, like so many things. And so I think like clean air,
circadian rhythm, like the obvious sleep.
Right. So exactly, the hormones with the circadian rhythm. And so clean air, clean water, clean food, and light, and clean thoughts, so positive thoughts.
Just a few hot takes.
I have a red light question. Do you think it's okay to look at it?
I do.
I do as well. I never wear the goggles.
I don't. I just feel like it's so bright.
I feel like some people.
It depends. I was gonna say it depends on how close you are.
I mean,
I'm like this, and I'm like looking down here or here.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like guard my eyes from it.
Well, cool.
Yes. Yeah. But if it's like a handheld one and I'm like holding it up to like my skin, my face, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole group of Reddit people who thinks that it helps with blindness.
Oh, amazing.
So they're definitely looking at it.
I am not an expert on that. So
that's
interesting.
Like cataracts, people have said.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, you'll find anything you want on Reddit.
Right.
Totally.
So don't take that as fact. But
I love that.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank y'all. This was so fun. I know I could just chat all day.